Two alleyways, as we've mentioned over and over again. The first 100 meters in these two lanes, and then they'll collapse to the rail.
You might have noticed everyone holding their wrist during the start of that one. They were starting their wristwatch, their timers on their watch, which is now legal.
And that's something, yes, the rule changes a few years back, and so that's an athlete able to check how they're doing time-wise. The watches actually have a lot more information than that. But probably the only thing you're looking at is the actual time.
And they all come together there, coming out of what in cycling I know we would call turn 2 at the end of the first full turn of the track. And this too is starting to look a little bit like the 1600 event.
So Mia Cochran's strategy, as we talked with her yesterday, is she wants to push it from the start and make others come to her.
That was successful in the 1600. Come through at a 73.
This is a little longer race, so there's more time to catch up.
Yeah, you know, you really do. You have to remember, it is 8 laps. Now, with Cochran, it's a little different. You know she could go out hard, and you know she could run it. But everyone else, again, doesn't matter who's first at that first lap. It's who's first at the end. And but Cochran's such a strong runner. Cross country championship under her belt, track championships. You got Olivia Walter out of Mechanicsburg. She's the second seed. She is in second place, and then Claire Pacey, your top seed, is in third place right now. They've opened up a little gap time there too, Rick. They've made themselves sort of like, okay, come catch us as well.
And you might be able to hear in the background, fellas, just a quick note that awards are being awarded as events start up and are in full flight. So just a heads up to that, the 2A Women's Awards have just been awarded in this 3200 distance. So you might catch a glimpse of that on your screen from time to time. You might hear the public address announcer announcing that in the background from time to time.
One of the things that we have in these distance races, as Greg mentioned when we saw the girls after the last race talking, you may have situations where these athletes actually are warming up together. When they go out to run for their 10 or 15 minute warm up, you'll have some of the top girls running together, and they'll be talking about their training that they've been going through and what works for them.
We're going to take a look and see the 2A leaders. Quarzo, your winner, 10:19:41 for the state record. Doom second, Keating third, and on and on. Myers was a fifth place finisher, Akey sixth, and Cordy also in the top 10, coming in at number 9, only a freshman, Carbondale area. So those are some of the finishers in that 2A. We apologize for taking so long to get those to you, but the race had to finish, and then of course they immediately start up with the next heat, which in this case is the 3200 final for 3A schools, the bigger schools.
We get to spend some more time talking about Mia Cochran and the mentality of a distance runner. So oftentimes sprinters have a lot of confidence, maybe a little arrogance, and they're boastful of their abilities. Distance runners are often demure, they're quiet, and they just like to go out and push, because there's so much time where they have to focus on how their body is responding. So we see Mia Cochran here is pushing and running to her own clock and to her own sounds in her head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's constant talk in your head. It really, really is, and you get used to that by putting in the miles and the miles that you have to do for training. But you know, you can't, in a race like this, you can't lose concentration. And if you do, you know, you start slipping off a little bit. You have to keep talking in your head about what lap you're on, where you're at, where you want to be. And she's where she wants to be right now.
Yeah, this was her strategy. Claire Pacey is more of a grind runner, where you catch up, and then you can pass at the end.
Pacey's being challenged for that second spot right now, neck and neck for second coming out of the final turns. And now hitting the same home straight as our race leader, Mia Cochran. Cochran looking to do a back-to-back championships at these meets this year, already having the 1600 in her pocket.
I missed that lap, but she had run a 73, a 77, and a 77, and I'm not sure where that one was at the mile marker, but certainly, you know, looking at, she went through probably about a 5:15, maybe even faster than that, which would be a 10:30. I think it might still be faster than that. So
Meredith Price is the one pulling up even in second place for Pine Richland with Pacey. And now you see she has put a little separation well behind Mia Cochran. She's put a little separation between her and Pacey. Boy, I think at this point in the race, guys, coming down that back straight, I would be thinking I can make it to that next roped post. Now this one. Now the next. Of course, it would be a lot slower in saying that in my case. These athletes are flying.
Usually at Shippensburg, there's a constant wind. We have no wind today, so this is just dead air they're running through.
yeah, that is unusual for here. Coming up, half mile to go for her. No, 3 laps. She has 3 laps to go.
And she's been very consistent, as you've said, Greg.
6:20, the latest accumulated time. She had a 6:29.34 last year when she took the gold medal in this event. So Mia Cochran is just on fire out there. Almost a quarter track lead against everyone else at this point.
Yeah, we have a great race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Jockeying and changing position. There's just been a change again there.
Less than 3 laps to go now in the contest as the competition enters the back straight. Mia Cochran is just about to exit the back straight.
Now she has gone 10:20, 04 before, and that's pretty impressive. Not sure we'll get an idea here as she comes up with a half mile to go. She certainly is in command. There's no doubt about that.
Right, her in her own league right now.
Yes. Yes. Now that, you know, again, we had a shift back there in second place, and now that gap's starting to close a little bit as well.
25 seconds, the gap between first and second. A 7:39, almost 7:40 as she crosses the line here. She had a 7:48.5 a year ago, well beyond the pace of a gold medal in back-to-back years here, it seems. And she continues to forge on, and as Corzo did in the final before her, starting to pass some of the comrades that she started things out with here in this 3,200 distance.
Yeah, that 10:16.02 that Emily Carter has could be in trouble. Could be in trouble. She's on
Very
pace for
close.
that. Yeah, she's on pace for that.
Now she's out. She's only got 1 or 2 athletes in front of her that she may be able to pass right now. So it's a little different than Corzo's race.
Oh, we have some challenges going on here. Looks like a couple of, nope, are they with the same team? It could be. See if we can grab those numbers here in a bit and see what's shaping up for second place at this point. But
You're right, Rick. Meredith Price of Pine Richland and Natalie McLean of Pine Richland running back to back there.
wow, how about that?
Right there they are.
That's always great to have a training partner
Oh yeah.
that close on your team to be able to work together and not be adversarial, but be
Right.
supportive.
Right. 9:08.54 a year ago, 8:58 it looked like as she crossed the line here today. Wow.
She comes back with a 75. She's looking at a new record.
Right.
Low
10:13 to 10:15.
Yeah.
The race for second place.
So is she going to be able to beat Corzo's time from the 2A race?
Ah, good point.
I think so.
I think so too. She's looking really good right now in that backstretch. You see, and again, the advantage, Rick, you pointed it out time after time. She's got people to chase down.
Yeah, at this point, little segments, little goals,
Right.
but what you want to avoid is having to run around those
Yeah.
tripping hazard or
Yes.
but with about 100 meters to go, she certainly is going to be able to run under 10:20.
So smart with her passes, getting
Oh, yeah.
right back into lane one as quickly as possible. 10:03 the mark now. 10:05 heading for home and showing no let up all the way to the finish. Mia Cochran. And the clock will stop at 10:13:58.
And that's
Another one.
a new PIAA record.
Yes, it is.
And here comes Pacey making a pass of the 2 pine.
Oh, look at that. Just like she did in the 1600, came from the back of the pack a little bit to get second place. Pretty decent day for a sophomore, huh?
Right, and we knew that about her. That's the way she likes to run. But she runs a 10:37 for second.
Pine Richland trying to get third and fourth. It was tough. Lots of competition here, forging to the front at the end of a very brisk pace set by your new state record holder, Mia Cochran, a 10:13:58.
You know, Rick, you said it before. It's just amazing. You run a 10. What'd you just say for 10:37 for second place? Years ago, you know, just to get under 11, you were celebrating. I mean, that was like the barrier, and now commonplace. And actually, we had a couple under 11 when we see the official results.
One of the things that you featured yesterday was the technology advantage in shoes. I think more importantly is what we're seeing nutritionally.